spent the last couple of years looking for product market fit with FHE projects. And we, in order to be more successful, we found ourselves not only building up the demand side, but the supply side. And of the projects that we were building to kind of bootstrap innovation with our validation network, we arrived on this idea that we found very compelling. And we put together kind of a team of core contributors, and I'm one that will be contributing to this project because we think it has a lot of promise. We brought together some really great minds from blockchain and AI, some PhDs in AI and ML. And so I'm going to explain to you today what super alignment token is about. Okay, so there's a problem that we're facing right now in AI systems. There's many problems that we're facing. One of them is, how do we make sure that AI systems remain aligned with human values and intentions? And so we are in a current phase right now of AI development, which is focused on narrow AI. So the AI that we're using is very good in specific fields, but it's not good broadly. When we have AI that can go from discipline to discipline, physics or biology, it can be a chat, it can create papers for you, all these things, that's going to be referred to as artificial general intelligence. AGI is probably only about 5 years away from some of our best guesses. And once we create AGI, there is a concern among some of the leaders of the world in this field that you won't be able to put the genie back in the box. Their best guess is that the only way to make sure that AI remains aligned with human intention is just to use AI to check AI. But this will be a problem. Narrow AI is as good as the average person in any one field. AGI will be as smart as the smartest person in the world in every single field. And when we get to super intelligence, which is kind of the top level, that will be an AI that is smarter than the smartest person, all the smartest people in the world combined. That is expected to occur probably within 3 to 5 years after we achieve AGI because of recursive learning. So AGI will be able to just keep educating itself and educating itself. Okay, so right now, with what we have currently, narrow AI, we already don't know how these models are coming to their answers in some situations. This is called legibility. So how does an AI come to an answer? How does it explain to you how it arrived to the output? We already don't know that. We have these boxes that these AI live in, that these models live in. They can't go outside their box, but inside that box, they're coming to conclusions, they're making decisions that we already can't understand. And that's for narrow AI. So the problem will scale as we achieve better AI systems. So we have basically 3 to 5 years to put forth a framework that aligns AI before we created AGI, at which point our only hope is to use AI to check itself. So we think this is a serious problem. We think that no one government or company should have final say in the alignment of models. We're seeing biases in the LLMs already. Those biases are being created by the few programmers that are developing those chatbots or those LLMs. We think that basically if we can use blockchains and smart contracts to decentralize and crowdsource input and alignment to these models, that's the best way possible. Not only because it puts power into civilian hands, but also because it's a safer way to do things and it treats data as a public good. Narrow AI systems already lack legibility, like I talked about. Open sourcing is also another problem. So even the open source models that we're using today, like Llama, just because the model's open source, that doesn't mean that that's exactly what Meta is using. We don't actually see what they're using. We don't exactly know if Grok, the weights they use, the way they refine the model is actually what we can see in the open source. So this is all black boxed already. And it also makes it difficult if you have open source in crypto to allow developers of models to compete with the big boys if they can't protect their models. And of course, infusing human rights into AI systems should require public participation. So another feature that we don't have in current models is regional or cultural specification. So what's appropriate in Japan or China or Korea might be different than what's appropriate in France or Italy or Spain, might be different than what's appropriate culturally in the US or Canada. And so we don't have any way right now, basically, to allow the models to conform to regional social mores and cultural preferences. Ilya Sutskever he started the super alignment team at OpenAI. He recently left the team. You might have heard the drama. He was the person that added Sam Altman to the board last November and got Sam Altman fired for a weekend until he was brought back. But Ilya has a track record of being very conscientious and very concerned, probably the most concerned person at OpenAI, with regard to keeping AI in check. He's very concerned with this. His team has been dissolved since. He now started a new project. He just raised something like $1 billion. It's called Safe Superintelligence. What we've done is taken the framework that was proposed by him and his team, that they're going to be building a centralized world, and we're decentralizing it. They're building a centralized framework. We are decentralizing it. So the overview of super alignment. So this framework that I'm talking about specifically is the prover verifier framework. So the idea is that we are going to use models. We're going to use, nodes that are hosted by users as well as human feedback to align models. This allows us to align models with millions of users. We can leverage the power of the crypto industry, which is the ability to crowdsource innovation, crowdsource user feedback. We're optimizing the supply and demand system with contract theory, which has won the Nobel Prize twice. It's a superior way to create contracts in asymmetric information environments. And we're going to be using FHE. And this is, again, how we came to super alignment. We were thinking, hey, all these AI models are just public scraping the internet for all this public data. None of us are getting a check. We should probably have FHE around that. We also learned that FHE is really great for protecting models. It allows developers making models in crypto to swing up and compete with the big boys. So we've partnered with Zama in that respect, which I'll talk to in a second. And so this is a blue ocean opportunity. There is no decentralized super alignment layer in AI. You've got the infra layer with projects like IONET and Aether. You've got the data layer, GRASS, IPFS, Open, Zero Gravity. Model layer with the Tensor and Ritual for making decentralized models, but we don't have an alignment layer. So this layer can be infused into all these other layers. And this is a little bit of what it looks like. So there are two key concepts to understand when we're talking about alignment. There's forward alignment and backward alignment. So forward alignment is a way for, this is a kind of Tor crypto model specifically, a way to make sure the models are aligned with user feedback before they hit the market. Backward alignment refers to continuously refining mature models so that you can kind of skew them back toward the user's demands, right? So backward alignment, a way to think of that is that's the standard centralized market. So Google's Gemini, ChatGPT can basically use our backward alignment model, or framework rather, to refine their models to take out some of the biases and things like that. Forward alignment is for all the decentralized AI projects. One use case that keeps coming back to us is content moderation. This is a big problem globally. We're seeing a bifurcation around what is okay. Free speech online, social media speech, things like that. And so this is something that would be really cool to sort of open up to users and allow a network of millions of users to define what's okay to say in certain platforms, what models are allowed to be, or to say what. So in this framework, a prover is basically any LLM, task, whoever issues the task, right? It can be any kind of model. We collect feedback from users as well as from the nodes. We incentivize the token rewards of contract theory. We create benchmarks, the verifier creates benchmarks, and then the alignment is the output, so you'll get an alignment score at the end of that. So mature models, like the ones that we see, the centralized AI models, can use this to sort of tweak and hone their models to be more what people want to see. As we know, for an example here, and the reason that content moderation is such a good example is because the community guidelines for a lot of social media platforms are opaque. People get deplatformed all the time, they don't know why. So this would solve that problem in a big way. And we are partnered with Zama on this, so as you've seen in previous slides, my network has made an FHE validation network. Zama has created an FHE concrete ML SDK, so that's for model making and hosting. So we are, Zama recently has been very excited to push his product orientation toward AI. We're very happy to be partnered with Randall and Zama on this initiative. And then we also have Google Gemini is excited because from some of their perspectives, this just might be a really good goodwill sort of initiative. to help them get back into the public, in the public eye in a good way.